Today, we're digging into a really significant move in the global tech world, China's new cybersecurity blacklist. Now, this isn't just about a few pieces of software. It's about a new kind of digital wall going up, and we're going to break down exactly what that means.
So let's start with a question that really gets to the heart of this whole story. Can a piece of software, something that's actually designed to protect you, become a threat to an entire nation's security? That's the core idea we're going to explore.
All right, so what exactly happened here? Well, Beijing has made a pretty bold move, and it is sending some serious ripples through the tech industry.
On January 14, 2026, Reuters broke this exclusive story. Chinese authorities have been informally telling their domestic companies to stop using cybersecurity software from major US and Israeli firms. And let's be super clear here, this wasn't just a friendly suggestion, it was a directive. The goal? Replace all this Western tech with homegrown alternatives.
This, of course, brings us to the big question. Whose software is getting the boot? Well, the list is basically a who's who of the cybersecurity world. I mean, we are talking about a lineup of absolute giants. From the US, you've got Palo Alto Networks, CrowdStrike, and Fortinet. You've also got products from huge players like Broadcom and even Alphabet's Mandiant. The list also hits Israeli powerhouses like Check Point and Imperva. This is a sweeping ban, and it's targeting some of the most widely used security tools on the planet.
But here's where it gets interesting. The impact of this ban isn't the same for everyone, not even close. For companies with a really good footprint in China, multiple offices, big sales teams, think Fortinet, Palo Alto, and Broadcom, this is a major blow. But for others, like CrowdStrike and SentinelOne, the effect is pretty minimal because they don't really have direct sales or offices there. It just goes to show you, while the headline is dramatic, the financial pain definitely isn't shared equally.
So this leads us to the crucial why, right? What is the official logic behind such a dramatic blacklisting?
Well, according to sources in that Reuters report, it all boils down to one central issue: national security. Beijing is worried this foreign software could basically act as a Trojan horse, a secret tool for collecting sensitive data and shipping it back to Western intelligence agencies.
Okay, let's break down the thinking behind that fear. First off, for cybersecurity software to even work, it needs deep, privileged access to a company's entire network. I mean, everything. Second, it's no secret these Western firms often work pretty closely with their own country's defense and intelligence agencies. So, from Beijing's point of view, you put those two things together and what you get is a potential backdoor for espionage. The solution, in their eyes? Rip it out and replace it with domestic tech they can trust and, well, control.
But, and this is absolutely essential to understand, this decision did not happen in a vacuum. Nope. This is just one chapter in a much larger, ongoing story of deep, mutual mistrust.
It really is like two sides of the same coin. On one side, you have China's concern that Western software could be a tool for spying. And on the other side, for years, the West has made repeated allegations about Chinese state-sponsored hacking campaigns. Essentially, each side sees the other as a major cyber threat.
And you know what? This isn't the first time we've seen this kind of playbook. The US did something very similar with the Russian company Kaspersky. First, they ripped its software out of government networks back in 2017. Then, in 2024, they banned all sales of it, period. So when you see it in that context, China's move here in 2026 looks less like a total surprise and more like the next logical step in this escalating pattern of, well, tech nationalism.
So, let's zoom out for a second. What does all of this mean for the future of technology, for businesses, and frankly, for all of us?
Well, the immediate consequences were felt right on the stock market. Right after the news broke, Broadcom shares dropped over 4% and Fortinet fell more than 2%. It's a real-world example of the tangible financial cost of getting caught in the middle of this geopolitical tug-of-war.
The big picture here, the main takeaway, is that we are literally watching the fracturing of what was once a global technology ecosystem. This is what people call tech decoupling. This idea that the world's tech is splitting into separate competing zones. It's creating a kind of digital iron curtain where companies are being forced to pick a side and build technology based on nationality, not just on what's best.
And all of this leaves us with one final, pretty critical question. In a digital world that was supposed to be borderless, we're now building all these new digital borders. So, who's going to build the bridges between these growing divides? And maybe more importantly, what happens if nobody does?